Time. Just give me a second here. Let me know if y'all can hear me clearly. Clearly. Just give me a second here. Let me go ahead and share this as usual on my page. Marisol, what's going on? How are ya? Aishan, Abdullah, assalamu alaikum. How are you? Thank you for tuning in. Okay, Marisol. So today's going to be about Google AdWords. Okay, it's going to be very basic, based on the request from a lot of folks. So I'm just going to go through some important points. And after that, if you all still want to learn more in detail with hands on or walk through step-by-step guide, do let me know, because next month's going to be, or tomorrow is going to be April 1st. So I'm going to basically post a message tonight in our social site, what kinds of subject you're all interested for the month of April, and it's going to be on a daily basis. Okay, I'm going to do this live streaming. I'm basically going to ask folks, what time do you want me to be live on a consistent basis for the month of April? Every single day from Monday to Friday. Okay, so let's talk about the subject of the Google AdWords. So first of all, how many of you right now are using or used Google AdWords? Can you go ahead and type below? If you used Google AdWords, type 1, and if you didn't, type 0. And by the way, folks, if you can also let me know, where are you all tuning in from? I'd highly appreciate it. Put in the comment section, what are you tuning in from? And also let me know if you used Google AdWords number 1. If not, put 0. All right, Melinda says 0. Yes! I like that. Completely clueless. Okay. So Melinda's from San Antonio. Oh, Shannon, of course, you know how to use Google AdWords, so you might want to jump in and teach us, give us some tips while we are talking about this. Lisa said 0. Okay, we got 2 folks that never used it, but Shannon, she is a master in Google AdWords, so if anybody wants to hire her, make sure you connect with Shannon. Okay, all right. Marisol, okay, from San Antonio tuning. We have a lot of San Antonian today. Marisol, Melinda, and Shannon, all San Antonio folks. Anybody else? What are you tuning from? Hmm? Okay. All right. Looks like people are just listening and not typing. I hope you're not listening. Well, if you're driving and listening, that's fine, but just don't look at the phone. Or maybe you're multitasking. All right, so let's talk about, since this is going to be a beginner's class, so let's talk about first of all, what is the benefit of, it's like I try. What is the benefit of Google AdWords? So, as you all probably know, when you go to Google, there is something called a search engine, or the SEO, and you also have Google Ads. So the Google Ads, it's a service that you have to pay Google, so your particular ads going to show up above the organic fold, right? So there's so many benefits from it. For instance, you can, once you do the keyword research to find out what your customer are typing or looking for when it comes to your product and services, you can select locations if you have a specific businesses on a specific location, or even if you have an e-commerce, you can select those. You can select the age group, you can select the language, you can select how many days you're going to run the ad, around what time, and on which devices matter. So I was looking into it last week, but I wanted more information about how it works. Yes, the thing with Google AdWords, Marisol, versus Facebook ads. Facebook ad is much simpler. Google Ads is a beast. It's highly sophisticated platform, and at the same time, it's a little bit complicated. I mean, it has so much stuff that you can tweak and analyze and adjust and whatnot. So you have to invest so much time, not just learning, but learning and applying and making the mistake, because it's humongous. Did I say humongous? Did I even say the word humongous? Okay, so but if you do want to learn more from the original source, what you can do, you can go to google.com/partners, partners. So let me show you this link real quick. 1 second. Google Partner. And by the way, folks, if you are all enjoying this or going to enjoy this live streaming, please do me a favor. Tag some of your cool colleagues that want to learn this, invite some of your friends, or share this. I would highly appreciate it. So this is a Google Partner. So it's free to join. So what happens, Google will offer you training on Google Ads, video advertising, which is YouTube, Google advertising, Google Ads, YouTube Ads, Google Analytics, and the Google Search Console. So all the trainings are free, but you do have to pass this crazy exam. You have to score at least 85%, 80 or 85% to pass it. The good news is you have to do this almost like every year. So my team basically update all the stuff, and it's free. And one of the benefits is that you will get the badge to basically tell other businesses you are qualified, and you can actually make additional income if you get these badges by approaching every small businesses and offering them the Google Ads services, right? At the same time, once you become part of the Google Partner Program, Google will do some type of sessions and classes, live streaming it from the California headquarters, and you can invite your local businesses to watch the event live stream, and from there you can close some deals. So the first place I would advise you to learn directly from the source for free is going to the Google's partner website. Okay. All right. And of course, if you go to YouTube, if you want to type anything like, Google AdWords beginner's tutorial, make sure you type 2020 or 2019, because so many things changed over the years in terms of the back end and whatnot. Okay. So the first thing is, in terms of the benefit, as I mentioned, you can target, you can have your website or your ad show up within 24 hours versus if you implement search engine optimization. The thing with the search engine optimization, it will take like 6 months, 9 months, 1 year. It will take a long time organically for your website to show up on the front page of Google, right? And to get the targeted traffic and targeted customers and targeted leads. It's a good investment, of course, to get into SEO, but if you are really in dire need of just getting customers as soon as possible, then you have to utilize the ad. Okay, so these are some of the benefits that you can implement Google AdWords to do the research, run the ad, check the clicks, check the conversion, see how it's working, see if you're getting customers from it and how they're behaving when they visit the landing page or the website. Okay, you can definitely control the cost, like how much money you want to put in on a daily basis. You can also measure the activity. So if you put like $500 or $1,000, how many clicks you're getting on that ad? Are they clicking on the website? What kind of keywords they're using, for example? You know what I mean? So it's very good to collect those data, measure those information, and also at the same time get the customers you need. So that's in terms of the benefits and why it's important, just like Bing Ads or any of the AdWords platform. The difference between the social media ads and the search engine ads, people go to search engine like Google or Bing to look for solutions and answers and products and services. But the majority of the people don't go to social media to do that. So the behavior is a little bit different. This is mainly meant for people to actually buy and pay for your product, right? So that's the distinction. Also, the ads are a little bit pricier. If you compare it to Facebook, it's a little bit higher because you have so many competition, so many companies are using it. The first thing you have to take into consideration and understand that there is two type of ads that you're going to, or two type of category of the ads you're going to run. The first one is called the Google Search Network, and the second one is the Google Display Network. So there's a difference, okay? So basically, these are called the campaign type, right? And it depends on what kind of campaign you select. The most popular one, of course, is the Search Network. It is the ad that you see on the top of the organic search, the text one on the top, right? The display, usually some of the images and videos shows up on a different Google partner website. Does that make sense? So understand this first, that there is a two campaign that you can select from: the Search Network and the Display Network. Okay? Does that make sense? Any questions? Okay, no questions? All right. So don't forget, there is the Search Network, and the second one is the Display Network. So when we talk about, excuse me, when we talk about the Search Network, just when you go to Google and type yoga and you see these ads on the top of the organic one, that's that says the word ad on it, that's a Search Network, right? So the Search Network includes the Google search itself and any other Google site. So when I say any other Google site, what's the first thing pops in your head? Can somebody tell me what other Google sites out there? What other Google product-based websites out there? Can somebody tell me? Can you think of any other Google sites? Let's wait for the comment. Are there any other Google sites? Any other Google sites? Nobody can answer? Really? For real? Are you guys kidding me? Are you guys kidding me? No other Google sites? Y'all use it all the time when you drive. Yes, a Google site, for example, Google Maps. YouTube. Okay, Rick, good answer. YouTube, it is. You're right. YouTube, it is part of, YouTube. Google bought the YouTube, but that can be considered. Yes, it is part of the Google site. So Google Maps, Google Shopping, okay, and there are others. So for example, YouTube is one of them. Yes, Melinda said YouTube. Rick said YouTube. Shannon, I don't know what is that. So this is where. Everyone says YouTube. Maps, yes, Google Maps, thank you. And Google Shopping, So those are part of the Search Network. So your ads can show up on those areas as well, okay? And when the ad shows up in these areas, like the maps and the shopping and the Google search, the type of the ad itself or the format of the ad going to be in text ad. Makes sense? It's a text ad that shows up in the Google search result pages. Okay. Now, when it comes to Display Network, okay, so we talked about the Search Network. What he said above? Oh, okay, makes sense. I'm sorry, I just must be the flu or the weather. San Antonio is like a allergy haven. So we talked about what? Search Network. The first campaign is you can select. It's a Search Network. And now let's talk about the Display Network. So when I talk about the Display Network, still, just like Rick said, it still includes the Google websites. For example, Google Finance, Gmail, YouTube. This is what Rick said. YouTube is considered Display Network because Google owns YouTube, right? So it is not Google, it wasn't the Google product by itself. So that's what we call a Display Network or Google partner site, right? And mobile sites, so these are where your ads can also be shown on these places, right? Does that make sense right now? So that way, and the thing with the search, and look at the word, look at the word Search Network and Display. It will give you an idea. One, This is where people are searching and they're finding it, and their intent is to buy the service or the product. In the display is more like you are building a brand awareness. How is the sound right now? So in the display network, you're basically building a brand awareness. So you're basically you're showing your video ads, a couple of images and banners. That's why they call it display network, right? In the search network, the format of the ad is mainly text based, right? In the display network, the format of the ad is mainly like a rich media. What I mean by that, images, videos. Does that make sense? And the whole idea behind running the display network is to basically increase the brand awareness, increase some type of engagement with customers, right? And it is only meant for that. So you have to make a decision. And I would say from our experience by running ads for several of our clients, the majority of the ad that brings better result in my case for my customers, it's mainly the search network. And there are some clients that use display. What I mean by that, will have their images or banners or even a YouTube video to show up at certain places. Okay, so understand that there is two campaign type. Okay, the search network and the display network. So when you run the ad, you can select those two at the same time, or you can just do the search network first, do the display network second, or just focus on the search. Okay, does that make sense? Does that make sense? Does anybody have any question? No questions? Shannon says, I agree. Okay, I agree too. Now, search ad format. So now I'm not talking about the display. I'm going back and talking about the search network, but right now I'm going to talk about the format of what's in the search network. As I mentioned, it's mostly text-based, right? So the text ad. So the text ad are made up of a few things, and I'm going to show you this image here. You can take a snapshot of it. So the text ad mainly consists of like a headline, a URL, or the link that people can click on it, that shows the address of the website, and a description. So there's a headline, a link, and a description. You can also add something called extensions, like, call extension, right? Or different pages extension. And the extension itself mainly looks visual on the text itself. So when you look at the ad, there's like a button that says call, or you can see a couple of other pages. So basically it enhances the text ad. Does that make sense? So that's what the ad with extension is, right? It's a visual enhancement for the search ad that can display some information about, the business, about like phone numbers, contact page, location. So that's what the extension looks like. And sometimes you will see an ad, has the headline, the link, and the description. Then you have contact us service page as part of the ad, right? That is called extensions. So you can have a very simple basic ad with no extension, or if you want to add extension to see how that works, because you always have to test it, right? So that's with the extension. So let me show you an example as an image here. Excuse me, let me show you. What is it? What is this? What is this? Go ahead. Anybody else has a question? Let me see. Anybody has a question? No questions? You're all genius. Okay. Let's see. So look at this image right here. See that? So this is an example of the ad text specification. So you have the headline. This is the headline as an example. 25 characters maximum, including spaces. Then you have the display URL. So the link itself should not be more than 35 characters, including spaces. Then you have two description lines. So this is the first line, And this is the second line. Okay. The display the URL to description, 35 characters maximum each, including spaces, and the destination URL. Okay, up to like 1024 character. You know what I mean? So sometimes you can write it this way, but the back can probably have very long link. Makes sense? But the ad itself looks like a regular website, but if people click on it, it will probably take them to a landing page and whatnot. So that's what it meant by destination URL. Cannot be more than 1024 character maximum. Make sense? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions so far? Let me see. Okay. So that was a sample of how the ad looks like. Now I have this all image. It's still relevant. The only difference is, excuse me. The only difference is that you're not gonna see this yellow color like that. It's gonna be transparent or faded. Because long time ago, the background used to be light yellow. Then they changed it to this. And now it's like transparent. You won't even be able to differentiate it. Why? Because it looks like it's organic. So that way people can hit more on these ads, because now nobody can see clearly if it's an ad or not until if you just kind of pay attention to it, then you will see the word ad on it, right? But typically they don't have the yellow color anymore. So when I talked about the ad extension, excuse me, call extension, right? Location extension, you can set it up with the location extension, and you can set up with the site links extension. This is where you can have, hours, contact us, offer, and whatnot. So several other pages. You can connect them to several other pages. So that's what I mean by visually enhancing, right? It is still a text format ad, but you can add these extension based on your strategy, right? Because some of our clients just want a phone call. They don't want they don't want the customer to go to the website. They just want the phone call. So when they look at the ads on the mobile device and it has an option for a call, they can click on it and there you go. They can call right away. Make sense? Does that make sense? I hope it does. Let's see. What else we have? Come on, folks. No questions? All right, y'all paying attention. Interesting. Okay. So initially we talked about the benefit of Google Ads. We talked about how you need to focus on or understand that there's two types of campaign, the search network campaign and the display network campaign. And we explained the difference between both of them. And I showed you some example of how, when it comes to text ad, what area you need to look for. The headline, display URL, the description, the two-line description, and the display destination. Typically, that's how you create it, right? Now, with the display ad format, as I mentioned before, display mostly consists of media or visual. Lloyd, what's going on, my man? It's been a long time, man. Google Ads are the best. Absolutely. Google Ads are the best, I would also recommend Bing advertising. Okay? These sort of advertising platform can help you to attract or capture the targeted leads, and you can collect the data of their behavior quickly and not wait 6 months, 9 months, or 1 year. Okay? Because with organic things, even though SEO is very important, social media is important, organically, but they take a long time. So if a client has enough budget to wait for like 1 or 2 years, no big deal. Let them go to invest it, and eventually when you rank organically, then you don't have to worry too much about the ad. You can even shut down the ad and it still generate a lot of income. For choosing networks, do you use partner website or leave them out? That is an excellent question, Shannon. I would choose the partner side, but I have to be very selective. For example, if I'm going to use a display network, let's say for the yoga, right? Google will show me popular partner websites within that niche, and I can look at them and see how they are. Are they good? Are they getting enough traffic?
Are they relevant? Okay, if I have a control to select them, that'd be much better for me to track my activities. And sometimes you can let Google pick it on your behalf, right? Because it's all about testing. Remember the A/B test. There is no such thing as secret sauce, blue sauce, gray sauce, green sauce. No such thing. If you know how the platform works, you just have to keep testing it with the correct audience and see how it works. Okay. So to answer your question, I personally do select, but if you also want to test it, where can let Google select on your behalf, it's up to you, because you do have to test them anyway to see which one bringing you the best result. Make sense? Because there is no one size fit all, or there's no one way to do things. So you always have to keep testing it and see which one will make your customer take the action that you want them to do. Okay, so that was an excellent question. So when it comes to display ad format, okay, so the display ad format's mainly supposed to be visual, and the idea behind it is more like a brand awareness, right? So you can have a text within the display network. You can also have images. You can also have a video. So let me show you some examples. I've had better luck without after testing multiple times. Perfect. If you had a better luck with that, then that's it for you. Then you don't have to choose the network or the partner website. Make sense? So that's the thing. So you did good. If you, based on your test, if you did it both ways and you notice that you got better result without it, then stick with that. Do you see what I'm saying? But in our situation, as I mentioned previously, that we had better success for our customers only with the search network. When it came to the display, some of them did good, some of them did not, right? And same thing with the partner website. And some of them did good, and some of them did not. So it's all about testing it, and depends on the niche and market and whatnot. So you're on the right track. So if you already did that test, that's it. You're good. Stick with the one that is working. Now let me show you some quick example of some of these so-called display. Here we go. Like this one here from Fiverr. Okay, this is a display what do you call it, ad. So the ad basically showed up on a different article website somewhere else, not within Google itself. It did not show up in Google search, because Google itself is all text, right? So that's what I mean by partner website. So somehow Google had a deal with this website, and now their ad showing up on their website. For example, this was a content site. It talks about landing page, and here we go. This is an example of display network. Okay, so there's an image, and we click check it out. It will take the user or the people interested to their website. So that's one format. Okay, then here's another one. This is a very popular site, Tron, right? And as you can see, these huge media. Look at that. Right? That's also a banner with all this information. That's a display network. So Tron, even though it's not in Google, but it's showing up in Tron because Tron is also a partner with Google. Make sense? And of course, YouTube ads is also can be considered display network, because you have your video ad shows up when somebody plays any video. There's the ad right here as a sample. Okay, so all these example, or the banner, the sidebar, the images, the videos, all of these are part of what we call it now, the display network. Okay, and the objective of the display network, it's more like a brand awareness, right? And of course, from there, if somebody wants to take action and be interested, is different. And now I'm making that distinction because when I go to Google, I'm looking for something in the search. I want to, hire this tree service, right? Cutting tree services, or plumbers, or roofers, or carpet cleaners, or attorneys, right? I'm looking for that. Display network, my intent wasn't looking for them. I'm just reading an article in the health industry, and suddenly there is a local yoga instructor, their visual ad showing up. That's interesting. Then I might click on it, right? So that's a different behavior from the display to the search. Okay. What is this? What is this? Okay. So, any question so far? Okay. And when your ad shows up on the mobile device, they can appear in a text ad format. They can also appear like the display, which is the video ads. So both of those can actually do show up on the mobile device. Okay. Now, Melissa, okay, do you, as an advertiser, have control in which partner side your ad displays on? That is an excellent question. Yes, I believe, I'm not sure if they changed this, but there is an option when you select the display network ad, it will tell you on which site, and you can select those sites. Okay. If you want your display network to shop in these particular sites that Google is going to give it to you, you can select those one by one or all of them, or you can have them be selected automatically, right? Yes, you can do that. I remember a while back, personally, when I was looking with my team with one of the client, it was in the health industry, and we saw a couple of. I was analyzing those so-called partner sites to see how much traffic they get, how much visibility they have, and we did select few of them, and we wanted the banner show up only on those particular sites. Excellent question. Okay. All right. Now, when it comes to, so recapping quickly, we talked about the benefits, how it's important, and of course, it's Google. They dominate almost like 70 to 80% of the market. How you can select location, age, and you can do a keyword research. And the cool thing about Google AdWords versus search engine, in search engine, you can probably trying to rank for key phrases, like not more than like, if you have 5 pages, then you're trying to probably rank for 5 or 10 key phrases. But in Google AdWords, you can have like 100 keywords. You can have 300 keywords, and it depends on which one gets the most clicks, right? So there is an advantage to that. That means you'll have more visibility, more searchability, more clicks based on more information, right? So we talked about that. We talked about the difference between the search network, the display network, and the format. And now let's talk about the strategy itself, right? Because there are 3 types of clicks you're going to pick. There's something called cost per click, okay? CPC, they call it CPC, cost per click. Then you also have cost per impression, CPM, and you also have cost per acquisition. So when you run the ad, you can also select, if you select the category search network, good, then you can also select the bidding type. Is it going to be CPC, CPM, or CPA? So what's the difference? In the CPC, cost per click, that basically means if you want to focus on clicks on your ads, right, and drive the traffic to your website, then you're going to use the CPC bidding, because for every click you're going to pay Google, right, and that click will take me to the website. Make sense? That's what the CPC is for. Now, the cost per impression, basically what it means, cost per 1,000 impression. That means the ad shows up, or the ad showed up 1,000 times. So if you want to focus on impressions, the number of times that your ad shows, that will basically help you increase more awareness for your brand, right? So if you use the CPM embedding, that means for every 1,000 times the ad shows up, then you're going to pay for the click, pay for that price, okay? So, and you also notice that the CPM is more popular with the display network, because your ad, the visual, showed up 1,000 times. Then after that, you're gonna pay for every 1,000 times. Okay. Then you have CPA, which is cost per acquisition. So if you want to focus on conversion, which is when people take a specific action on your site after clicking one of your ads, that's called cost per acquisition. So somebody clicked on, let's say, on the ad, and they filled up the information like the name and email addresses, or they filled up some information to get something in return. That's the CPA. Okay. So these are the 3 options. So initially, I would recommend that you start with the CPC, which is cost per click, so you can get the traffic back to your website, and from there you can use Google Analytics, another tool, to basically capture and grab the data, right? because in Google Analytics, you have this one feature called set up goal. Goal page. You can set up a goal page on your website. So somebody click on the ad, I'm going to your website, and you have a landing page with, book a session or book an appointment or get a copy of this. You can set up a goal page code on the back end of the call to action button, so you can compare and analyze from the ad how many clicks I got, and once they landed on the website, how many sale or how many lead I captured. You can basically do a cross-reference comparison. Marisol, before going live, it takes you to what you should know. Pop-up square and says that you cannot make changes. The Google Analytics shared info, smart campaign optimization and marketing, which seems scary and I don't understand. What is that? One second. Before going live, it takes you to what you should know. Pop-up square and says that you cannot make changes. The Google Analytics shared info, smart campaign optimization, remarketing, which seems scary. I don't know what is that. I need to probably look. I don't know. What are you doing? Are you messing with the analytics or the ad itself? Melissa, what is a good weekly budget to drive traffic? CPA seems the strongest conversion, correct? CPA, Melissa, if you are focusing on conversion, then that is the option, because sometimes if you're on a CPC, let's say the click got the visitor to my website, but they did grab how many people actually opted in. If you use analytics, yes, you can track it, but with the CPA, you can actually configure it in a sense that once they do convert, you can also grab that. So yeah, for the conversion, you can definitely focus on the CPA. Okay. Initially, for beginners, I would say you might want to start with the CPA, because that's the click for the site. So you're gonna grab one number. Okay, this many clicked to the website. That means they landed on my website, and now I have the analytics attached from the other side. When the traffic comes to the website and there's a call to action button, now we can do a cross reference. Okay, for every 100 click, how many actually clicked on the button, right? And if you cannot use CPA, you can use the goal page and set up a code on the back end. It's Google Analytics goal page, and that will also collect the information, right? So that's a workaround. Does that make sense? Marisol, I was setting up the campaign for the ads, was done with most of it until was that the last step? Marisol, before going live, it takes you to, and what you should pop square and says that if you can take a snapshot and send it to my Facebook message so I can look at it. They go out to shared info, smart campaign optimization. So smart campaign optimization is like a new feature where Google will try to enhance your ads. You don't have to do it by yourself. One thing I forgot to mention is that with Google AdWords, there are actually two types of Google ads. One is called Google Ad Express, and the one that I'm teaching you guys, the normal, typical Google AdWords. The Google AdWords Express is super simple, doesn't require any research, it's just your local business and set up a 40-mile radius, and that's it. It does not give you any option to set up a keyword or any of the sophisticated things that we are doing with the normal or the standard Google AdWords. Okay, so if you can take a snapshot and send me a message to my Facebook account or DM me, I can look into it. Okay, and I also can walk you through. Okay, Shannon, I just want people to click and call me. Well, Shannon, in that case, use the phone, right? Figure out which when you look at your report, Shannon, see where most of the traffic is coming from. If the majority of the traffic coming from the mobile device, then when you run the search network text ad, the extension that you're going to use is going to be that call the phone number. Make sense? That's it. Then you can see, because for every ad your target audience view, the only option they will have is to call you. Make sense? So try that. So I'm not sure if you did it. I'm assuming you did. But if you didn't, do that. CPC in combination with Google Analytics then equal to CPA. Yes. So the workaround is that if you're going to do cost per click, you're getting the traffic to the website, make sure you have the Google Analytics configured. But at the same time, Melissa, configure the Google goal page. There's an option called goal page. Set it up with your call to action button. So whatever happens to that button with the thank you page, that information gets recorded, right? Or if you want to, here's the thing though, you just remind them one thing. Depends on your objectivity. If you're focusing on conversion, then I would say try the CPC and the CPA, right? If you just want to, brand awareness, then you go with the CPM. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to get a conversion for CPM, because think about it. Imagine your ad showed up 1,000 times. That's more eyeballs. So that doesn't mean you're not going to get a conversion. Of course, you're going to get a conversion, but you have to test them. That's why with some of our customers, some customers get more result with the CPM and some more with CPC, and some, so it depends. So you have to test it. And at the same time, the test that you're running, you're not doing it because for the sake of testing. You're doing it because you have an objective, right? And your objective is conversion. I want more people to sign for this product, for this service, for this session. Then you have to run these tests, right? So if you want to try all three of them, see what happens. See which one brings the call. See which one it converts. But personally, when we talk about trying the ads, in most cases you try with the CPC, right? But you're more than welcome to try all three of them and see which one brings you the best result, because it's all about test, right? You have to test and see which one works and which one doesn't. And the one that doesn't work, you just pause it. Yes, let's see. Last time. Okay. Great questions, everybody. I sent you the screenshot through Messenger. Okay, thank you. Yes, I have done that. Most of my ads are set up that way. Perfect. Shannon, did I get access to your Google Ads? Because I told you before. When I can have my senior ad manager look at it, analyze it, and get you some feedback. So I'm not sure if I asked you for your Google Ad account or if he sent you a request. Let me know. Yeah, set up a gold page for CPC. Yes, with Google Analytics. Yes, Melissa, absolutely. Yeah, that's the one thing that people miss. So you can, especially if you have a call to action button or a call this phone number, why not set up the gold page on the back end? Because whatever happens, just because somebody clicked on the website, that doesn't mean they're going to buy it, right? That doesn't mean they're going to click on that, subscribe now or give me this offer or get approval. Does that make sense? So you have to track how many clicks I got from the ad and the click went to the website, then how many actually converted, right? And to prove that, you have to have the gold page code set up on the analytics so you can do cross-reference. Okay. Yeah, Shannon, give me your the Google AdWords account number. I will have a Collab send you a request. And what I want you to do is send me an email of some of the, just all the challenges and all the problem. Like, what are you having issues with? And I can just have them run a quick test and do some analysis, and I'll get you some feedback, like what you can do to improve it. Make sense? Marisol, give me a second. Let me check the message. One second.